Hey YouTube, it's Morgan, aka the Mountaineer, and I'm finally going to get back in the woods this morning. It's Tuesday morning, a little after 8. Dropped my son off at pre-K and just hit the parking lot. I've done this trail for the most part before. I can't remember if it was the most recent one I've done or if I've done something else since then, but it was one I kind of had to cut short and didn't get much of a video on. I'm parked in this little parking lot here. I'm gonna come up and hit this little forest road, take Alligator Rock Trail, which I've done numerous times, take this bit of a forest road, and then go down Teaberry Rock Trail, and somewhere in this area is the Overlook. The last time I tried this trail, I ran into, I believe his name was John, and ended up talking to him for an hour, and it was before something, I can't remember what was going on. My wife had to be somewhere, and I ended up jogging some of the trail. But anyhow, hopefully get out there. It's a little foggy. I think it's about 55 degrees, so it'll be interesting. I'm wearing pants and long sleeves, and I have an extra little pullover that I can put on if I get too cold. But anyhow, gonna go hit the trail. Alright guys, finally got to this spot. This is the same spot I sat in before. I think I was sitting there and the camera was here, so I kind of switched. I'm back to my little tripod instead of the bigger one, kind of more adjustable, more stable, that I brought out last time. Kind of wish I'd have thought. I think it's up under my floorboard in the car. But as promised, as I mentioned last time, I have this Sir Walter Scott's St. James Parish snuff. and I said I'd wait to try this on camera. I'm guessing based on the name and description that it's a Perique blend. What's that smell like? It smells like some kind of baked good, but I can't put my finger on it. It's real, pretty light, fairly fine bit of moisture. Let's see. Dropping everything. I like it. Definitely a lot more tame than the Latakia. I don't know how much Perique I'm getting, but it's still good. I like it. Dropping everything, like I say. As you will notice, I'm breaking tradition here. This is a Hackert cob instead of a normal backpacking pipe. It's not packed yet. I have some of this super dried out plum pudding, and that's like the exact same container as the as those Sir Walter Scott snuffs come in. Let's see if I can't get this thing packed sitting here awkwardly. Like I mentioned in the parking lot, I think it was around like 55 degrees, so kind of chilly, and still foggy out. I was kind of expecting the sun to come up and cut through this fog. This isn't as dry as I thought it would be, actually, which is good. It feels like a pretty good moisture content. But hopefully sitting here I don't get too chilly. I do have like I mentioned, like a polyester pullover, and this is just a cotton shirt. I've soaked it. It's actually the first time I've worn it, because it's the first time it's been cool and that I've been hiking Great Smoky Mountains. My wife told me yesterday or the day before last, something like that, she read a thing that said hikers found a corpse and had a campsite in the Smokies, and a black bear was scavenging on it, so they had to euthanize the bear. She said, seems kind of unfair to the bear. I said, well, I've heard that once they get to taste the man flesh, that's what they like to eat. I don't know if it's true or not, but I guess for people, especially as well trafficked as that place is, I guess better safe than sorry. I don't know if it's in frame, but as you can see, I just brought pre-made coffee. I'm all out of sorts. I just kind of threw stuff together last night. So I got this pipe, got my backpack out, and got some stuff in it. But I don't have my little shoulder strap water bottle clip. I don't have my GPS, my Garmin, which has the emergency beacon. Plum pudding. Since the other day, I've taken a number of pinches of that Latakia snuff and taken it, you know, when I haven't been smoking a pipe. But I tell you what, being an English blend Latakia lover, I'm not saying it at all that it would replace smoking a pipe, but man, you know, being in a situation where you couldn't smoke, that thing would be a pretty good substitute to bridge the gap there. All right, she's going. Stuff down over here. I don't even have my normal pipe nail. It's just that check tool. To modify what Brian says, the sun's already up, coffee's going down. Sure can't see that sun though. I'll have to experiment with that air pocket method with something like, you know, plum pudding is such a thick flake cake type thing. I guess you just have to rub it completely out in order to do that. I don't know how you would be able to jam a chunk of that in there and keep it elevated to leave the air pocket without rubbing it out. It's amazing what 2 months will do sitting on your butt. You know, prior to that, I was just getting out once a week, but that helps so much. I mean, this same trail, I was really huffing and puffing. I mean, the Alligator Rock Trail, it's very steep, the majority of it. I mean, you basically go up, drop down a little bit right at the Alligator Rock, and then just keep going up. And it flattens out for 150 feet at the top. And I think it was about 2/10 of a mile on that forest road. And then this is basically downhill. And this little overlook, it's just there's a little V that comes off the trail, so it makes a triangle. And I can see, through the fog, I can see the ridge and hill over here a little bit. A lot of trees, but this is a nice little spot. The rocks, I always love rock formations. Oh shoot, I'm having a hard time keeping this lit. Like I say, I am not the most careful packer most of the time. And these tins, they're aluminum tins, but they're not airtight, and they're good for temporary storage. They have that foamy liner on the top, but shaking that plum pudding around, it seemed like it was bone dry, but I guess those chunks are so thick it still had a fair bit of moisture. Just the little stuff, I guess, was making the dry scraping sound. Fog's starting to thin out a tiny bit. I mean, I can just see the hill opposite a little better. Still overcast. Still no signs of the sun, but still beautiful morning. I've been reading the young adult or kids series. It's like 8 to 12-year-old, called Fablehaven. I love fantasy stuff, and sometimes that kind of that age group, 8 to 12 or 12 to 16 or something like that. You know, pretty quick books to get through and digest, but usually have pretty good stories. I don't read too many of them, but I should read more. But especially now that Nathaniel is getting into that age, I'm trying to encourage him to read bigger and more complex books. But it's Fablehaven. It's a 5-book series. We were at the library and I borrowed what I thought was the first book and the second book, but what it was the second book and the first book of a related series that I guess happens after. So it was I started reading it a little bit and realized that. So there was, a little bit of a spoiler, but, it's one of them where it's going to happen anyway. But I finished up the 4th book last night. I got the entire series on the West Virginia Deli. It's like digital entertainment library, so I don't know, but it's where you can go and get audiobooks and Kindle books and movies and things like that online. But borrowed the kind of the compendium of the entire series and got through most of the first 2 books, I think, before that expired, and then there was a waiting list, so I couldn't re-borrow it. And I got through the first one. I was reading the second one through with paperback and got into the third one. So then I was able to borrow the 3rd, 4th, and then last night I borrowed the 5th. Didn't start it, but it's pretty enjoyable. But for me, hiking and stuff is so evocative. You get in the woods, and like I say, I love fantasy, Lord of the Rings. You saw me in my Gandalf costume in a previous video from last Halloween. But get off the parking lot and get onto a trail, and you feel kind of like Bilbo Baggins. I'm going on an adventure. Get out and sit down here and reflect on stuff, and look at creation and just see how beautiful it is. I looked, and this was my second to last hike here 2 months ago, thereabouts. And then I went up and hiked with my cousin and, well, cousins. My cousin Zach and his older sister Amanda, and Zach's dog Gunner. I don't know when, but I will edit that and post that hike up. Post up a video of the hike. Don't have any pipe cleaners. I can feel the little bit of a gurgle. Yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough, so I'll probably shoot another clip or 2 of scenery, but I'll go ahead and say Till next time, guys, thanks for tuning in.